Thank you so much for joining today. We'll start today's practice coming into a comfortable seated position. You might want to add a block under your hips or maybe a pillow or blanket. You could sit crisscross applesauce or maybe extend the legs out long. Make sure wherever you're landing for this comfortable seated position that you're keeping your spine long. You're starting to relax the shoulders down the spine. Your hands are resting comfortably. Feel your breath as you intentionally take your next inhale and exhale. Maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you simply soften your gaze. Allowing yourself to arrive here in this space, in this time today. Allow your body to relax. As you scan gently through the body, simply noticing any sensations, any aches or pains, any tweaks or twinges. Allowing the body to relax into these sensations, not offering them judgment or any frustration, but instead taking this moment to offer them gentle awareness. We continue to move our awareness through our body. We'll notice any energy, high or low. And we'll really allow ourselves to ask ourselves how we're feeling in this moment. Take a moment to notice if you're feeling comfortable or uncomfortable. Today, I'm going to ask you to step out of our comfort zone. And as we do, notice what we avoid. We don't want to push into any tweaks or twinges or anything that hurts. When I'm talking about stepping out of our comfort zone, I mean emotionally, mentally. As humans, when things get tough, we tend to avoid them. And of course we do. No one wants to experience a tough situation. But no healing comes from avoidance. I remember when my mother passed, I did everything in my power to avoid the sadness that was in my heart. But oftentimes what we avoid ends up becoming our greatest teachers. When I discovered mindfulness and meditation, I learned that emotions are always trying to teach us something. And the sadness of losing my mother was teaching me to celebrate her memory, her life, and the air in my own lungs, and the love that I had in my heart to give to others. So as we center ourselves here today, breathing, notice what emotions you've been avoiding or what situations. And as you breathe, gently turn towards those emotions and let them teach you. Beautiful job today. We'll start to focus in on that breath itself. Now, just like I mentioned, I'm going to be challenging you a little today to step out of your comfort zone here on our yoga mat today as well. As part of that, our breathing practice today will be the hissing breath. For this breath, it can feel a little silly sometimes. So you're always welcome to simply just imagine it until you feel comfortable, or even just imagine it the whole time. And it's up to you whether you physically participate in the breath or not. If you choose to participate in the breath, know that the vibrations throughout the skull are helping to calm your nervous system. With this breath, the hissing breath, we breathe in through the nose in a series of small staccato inhales. And as we exhale long and slow through the mouth, we release a hissing sound, a vibration through our entire body. We'll continue this breath for 5 or 6 rounds. If we start to feel lightheaded at all, again, go back to just imagining what the breath might feel like. Do take this breath. See if you can allow yourself to step out of that comfort zone of our normal breathing. See if you can step out of your comfort zone of maybe what might feel comfortable in your own space, and notice what you are avoiding. Finish up this current cycle you're on. And as you settle back into your normal and authentic breathing pattern, maybe if your eyes are still closed or if you open them, close them, just take this moment to notice the sensations again throughout your body. Noticing if anything has changed, stayed the same, gotten better even. Great job. As we take our last breath here in this opening meditation, we'll offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude that we took time out of our busy day to slow down and meet ourselves here on the mat. And as we move through our practice today, remember that every stretch, every pose, and every opportunity is to learn, to grow, and to connect with the wisdom inside you. You're ready, fluttering the eyes open. We'll draw our hands out towards the edge of our knees or thighs, whichever feels good. So you can keep your legs exactly where they are. If you do have them in a crisscross applesauce, maybe you want to switch them into the other direction, just balancing out a little bit between the hips. And we're going to start to take some cat-cows. So as we inhale, we'll pull our heart forward, lifting through the chin, lifting through the gaze. And as we exhale, we'll begin to round the spine back, curling chin to chest. Shoulders come towards the ears. Start to move with your breath, inhaling forward, exhaling back. And today, with every pose, I'm going to challenge you to find that moment and way that you can step out of your comfort zone. We've done these poses many times together throughout the years, and maybe you could find a new way, a new step, a new something, a way to challenge yourself out of your comfort zones, out of those same movements you're so used to making each and every time. Great job. We'll go ahead and come to our straight spine. With our next inhale, we're going to allow our arms to float out to the sides and then up overhead. And we'll normally probably keep our hands either facing towards each other or facing out or in some position. But I'm going to challenge you to find a different way to place your hands. So maybe you rotate through the palms, face them out. They could be wide. You can even bring them together and maybe bring the palms facing each other. wherever you're at here, just take this moment to notice how it feels to lift up through the side body. Great job. With our next exhale, let's take it into a side bend over to the right. You can keep the hands lifted or maybe bring one down to the ground. Great job. Inhale through center, maybe keeping those hands the way they are, or maybe switching it a little bit. One more inhale up. Exhale to the left. Great job. Inhale to come through center. With our exhale, we're going to take our left hand, we're going to take it towards the inside of our left leg, and then take your right hand back behind you as you twist towards your right shoulder. You can have your hand on the floor, or maybe it's on a block. Great job. Inhale to come back through center. Center, weird hand placement. Challenging yourself. Exhale, twist it to the left. This time, right hand comes inside right leg. Inhale back through center, arms come up, weird hand placement. And then we're going to take a bird wing. So bird wing is a lot like cactus, but instead of bending at the elbows and scrunching them down towards our side, we're going to leave them big and open, majestically like an eagle taking flight. Beautiful job. Exhale, curl to release, chin to chest, hand comes back to knees, round into your seated cat. Great job. Inhale to come up to a straight spine. And then we're going to take a fire log pose. So we'll start by taking our left shin parallel to our body and flexing through that left ankle. I like to use a block for fire log pose, but it's up to you what feels best in your body. We'll start to take that right ankle and we'll bring it over to the left ankle. You might rest there. You might start to draw it up the shin, over to that left knee. If it reaches that left knee, we want to keep both of our ankles flexed. You're like me and have this nice handy gap here. Just add that block in between to help support yourself here. We don't ever want to push that knee down. We want to let it open in its own time with a little bit of gravity. Beautiful job. With our next inhale, we're going to let our arms circle out to the side to a T. And then with our next exhale, we're going to bring our left arm under our right arm and come into an eagle arms. Maybe walking the hands up the shoulders, maybe starting to bring the backs of hands or even the fronts of hands together. You can also bring your strap. You have a yoga strap in between the arms. Wherever we're at in our eagle / fire log pose, notice what's happening in the spine. Are you rounding forward or arching back? See if you can work it towards a straight spine. Feeling that breath. And maybe the shoulder blades as they start to pull apart. Now maybe here you're noticing that you're avoiding something. You can check in with that and maybe ask yourself why. Doing great job. All righty, one more breath here. Exhale to release. Let's take it to second side. So we'll switch over, bringing right shin to the bottom. Bringing the left ankle over to the knee or anywhere along that leg. Adding in your prop here for some support as you lengthen the spine. And then lengthening the arms. Taking the right under the left. Finding your eagle arm variation, finding that breath. And again, asking yourself how you can challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Is your eagle arms the same eagle arms that you've always done? Or can you change them up in some way and experience this whole pose in a new way? Beautiful job. All right, with our next exhale, let's release our binds. Wind the legs. And let's come on over into a tabletop pose. You're always welcome to add just a little bit of cushioning if you'd like, under the knees. We bring our hands under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. We're starting to match our movement with our breath. Let's take a few cat-cows, letting the belly drop and then lift. Noticing what there is to notice, maybe finding a way to come out of your comfort zone in some way. Maybe this next exhale, we take a hissing breath. Beautiful job, wherever you're exploring. Go ahead and find stillness through the torso, and then begin to look over the right shoulder as you bump the left hip out to the left. And look back at your right foot, creating that C through the side body. Inhale back through center, take it over to the opposite side. And then once or two more times on your own. Great job. Our next inhale, we'll lift up into a angry cat pose. And let's start to take barrel rolls as we take our rib cage over to one side, down through cat, up to the other side, and around. Really allow yourself to notice how this is feeling. And then reverse your circles. Alrighty, find your stillness. Maybe you close your eyes here, or maybe you simply focus gently on someplace in between the hands. We're going to move our body intuitionally, which means no need to look at me. Just move however you want your body to move as you start to move in a circle. So that could be a big circle, drawing your heart over your wrist a little bit more and then sinking back towards a child's pose, or any other circle you want to make with your body here. Go a couple times in one direction and then reverse. Great job. All right, inhale, tabletop. We'll bring the knees together. We'll bring the ankles together. You can tuck the toes or untuck the toes. If you like to use a block or a blanket behind your legs, you're welcome to do that as well. We're going to sink our hips back towards our heels as we come into a seed or child's pose, the compressed kind, not the wide-kneed kind. And as you hinge over your legs, start to reach the forehead towards the mat. Now, it might not reach it, and you're more than welcome to add a block, a pillow, a book, or any other thing so that you can create contact between your forehead and the floor. And then we'll start to allow our hands to come back by our feet with the palms face up. As we come into seed pose here, maybe as you let your forehead rest wherever it's resting, you gently start to rock it side to side, moving through the neck, giving your forehead a nice gentle massage. And then with your next inhale, find a little stillness. Maybe your hands stay where they are, or maybe they come up to your lower back. You can leave the hands on the hips there. You can interlace fingers. You could grab your shirt. You could grab opposite wrists, opposite elbows. Or if you like your strap, you can always grab something long and skinny. Again, those hands can stay right at the hips. They could stay at the floor. Or if you want, it could be
interesting to start to explore lifting the hips into rabbit pose, letting the hands stay at the hips or begin to lift off and rolling onto the top of your head gently, not putting too much weight into the head or the neck. And then you can either stay here, or if you like a little bit of movement, you can rock the head a little and stretch through the neck. Beautiful wrap. Alrighty, if you're finding movement at all anywhere, go ahead and land in some stillness. The hands are lifted, go ahead and let them release towards the hips and then back towards the floor, letting the hips come back down, the shoulders roll towards the floor. Take one last breath in this condensed position. Again, maybe allow that hissing breath to find its way, challenging you out of your comfort zone. Inhale. Let's lift up into a hero's pose. So you're always welcome to keep those knees together or separate. You can tuck the toes or untuck the toes. And maybe you have a prop under your hips for support. We're going to lengthen through our spine here. Inhale, arms float up, weird hand movement of some sort. Beautiful job. Exhale, bird wings. Beautiful. Inhale, release your hands down by your hips. We're going to take them into a bind. So we have some options here. We can take our hands and place them on our hips. We can start to walk our left hand over towards our right hand. If you can reach your right hand and left hand together, you're more than welcome to take them and interlace the fingers by your right hip. If you like to use a strap, you can have a strap pulling that left arm as far over as it feels good. And you can just simply have the hand resting at the left hip as well, if that's where your body and shoulder is at today. Wherever we're at, we're noticing how it feels in the body, not pushing into any tweaks or twinges. And then let's start to drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Noticing how that opens up the left side of the neck. Now, as always with neck stretches, you might enjoy this steady stretch, or it might feel more advantageous to start to rock the chin up and down, stretching and finding a more dynamic movement through the left side of the neck. Beautiful job. All right, inhale through center, hips and neck. Right hand walks towards left hip, little or a lot. You're taking the hands and fingers interlaced, squeeze the elbows towards each other. And then staying here, we're beginning to let that left ear fall to the left shoulder, opening up through that right side of the neck. Great job. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale to release your bind. Let the arms float up to a T. And we're going to have one palm face down. We're going to flip one palm up. And we're going to start to find a little bit of a lean left to right. And as you lean, pull the fingers with the palms face down in that direction. Allow your rib cage to shuffle like a card of decks. Your feet and legs are a little bit together. You might even notice a skiing-like motion through the hips. If you're on a block, that might not be as much mobility there to make that motion, but you'll still get a shifting left to right. Great job. Again, continue to notice what you're avoiding as you make this movement. Last breath here. Balance out the sides. Come through center and release. Beautiful job in our warm-up today. Let's come on up to standing. Standing in mountain pose. Let's inhale, let the arms float up and overhead. And again, we're gonna play with that hand placement. So maybe placing hands forward, maybe rotating them towards the back, outside, maybe taking the bind. Again, it's really up to you. Play with it a little bit. Step outside your comfort zone. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale through center, lean to the left. Inhale through center, bird wings. Exhale, swan dive into your forward fold, keeping the rounded spine as you take the dive. Beautiful job. Inhale, halfway lift, figure 7, gaze stays down. Beautiful job. Inhale, release into your forward fold, bend the knees, sink the hips, take that slow roll, coming all the way back up. Arms float up. Inhale, bird wings. Exhale, prayer. Great job. All right, feel free to take any movement you need. We're gonna take our legs a little bit wider than hip distance, actually pretty wide here. You're welcome to have props nearby or your wall. And let's start by coming into a 5-pointed star, reaching arms out to the sides and up, really taking up as much space here, which can always be an uncomfortable place to be. And our next exhale, we're gonna start to move into one-legged squat. So we'll come towards the right, keep your hand on your knee, you could bring it down to a prop. Keep them on your hips or even in a prayer. Maybe come out of your comfort zone a little bit. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, sink it to the left. Now, if you want to go even deeper into a deep one-legged squat, you're welcome to do that and lift that opposite toes off the mat. So it's up to you. We inhale through center, take it at your own pace. 5-pointed star, one-legged squat. 5-pointed star, one-legged squat. Take it at your pace. You could go fast or you could go really slow. Enjoying the stretch. Great job. One more on each side. Five-pointed star. Exhale, move the toes in line with the heels so that they're in a straight line. And then as we exhale, we're going to hinge into a forward fold. Now, normally, maybe you try to keep your legs very straight in your forward fold. But today, maybe bend the knees a little deeper than you normally would, allowing yourself to go even deeper into those thigh muscles as you take that forward fold. Great job. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe straighten the legs back out. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Beautiful job. Let's step into our mountain pose. And we'll take a little balance challenge here. So as always, you're welcome to come closer to a wall. Maybe grab your strap or some blocks. Have whatever you'd like nearby. We're gonna come into our mountain pose, find a spot on the floor that's not moving. As we're ready, shift our weight to the left and begin to lift those right toes off the mat a little or a lot. Again, you're always welcome to have that block just under your foot for a little more stability, or maybe to have your strap wrapped around your knee or around your thigh. You could also hold that with your hands as well. Great job. We're going to open this out to the side. That right side. You can keep your left hand on your left hip, or again, maybe it's on a prop for support, or extend it out to the side for counterbalance. Great job. One last breath here. Inhale to bring it back, knee through center, and then release your strap or your prop. Send the leg out long, point and flex the toes a couple of times. And then let's set it down. Great job. All right, give yourself a big breath there. Think back on that whole side you just did. What did you avoid? What was uncomfortable? Did you step outside of your comfort zone? If so, how? Why was it outside of your comfort zone? All right, let's come to side two. See if while we're taking side two, not only are we concentrating on the pose and what it has to teach us, but maybe also starting to notice those questions. Are you inside your comfort zone? Are you pushing yourself outside of it? What are you avoiding? Inhale, left knee lifts. Keep a bend in your standing knee. Exhale, open the knee out to the side. Stay here for just a moment. Again, you can hold the leg or not. Using props, any other support. As we take our birds of paradise. Great job. Inhale to bring it back through center. Send it out long, point and flex. Great job. Go ahead and bring that down to the ground. Take any movement you might need to shake or wiggle that out. Inhale, float the arms up. Weird hand placement. Exhale, lean it to the right. Side bend. Inhale through center. Lean it to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, bird wings. Inhale, forward fold, swan dive it down. Beautiful job. Inhale, halfway lift. With our next exhale, let's bring it back down to a tabletop, bringing the hands to the mat and then stepping the knees back, if that feels like a great way to get there, or any way that feels good to you. And then with our next inhale, we'll come up to standing on our knees. We'll make sure to tuck our toes behind us. And if you want to add a little cushion like a pillow or a blanket under your knees, you're welcome to do so here. Let's start by sending our right leg out long into gate pose. And as we inhale, we float our arms up into that weird hand placement. Great job. With our exhale, our right hand comes to our right hip or down the right leg, taking it into gate. Inhale to bring it back through center. Exhale, drop the hands to a tabletop and then squeeze the hip back towards the heels. Taking a nice stretch through that back of the right leg. Beautiful. Inhale back through your tabletop. Step in the right foot, step out the left foot. Inhale, lift arms up, weird placement. Exhale, hinge into gate to the left. Such beautiful movement through our bodies today. Inhale through center. Exhale, tabletop. And then extend the arms like a child's pose as you sink your hips back towards your heels. Beautiful job. Inhale through your tabletop, bringing in that left leg. And then let's come over onto a seat, onto the ground, or maybe even just a blanket under the hips. We're gonna bring our feet in front of us, and then let's bring the right leg kind of parallel like we did in fire log pose, with the knees bent towards the left and the feet tucked over towards the right. The right hip and heel are really close. And the left foot is close to the right knee. Now we're gonna take a hip flex opener here, hip opener here. So for more engagement, engage through the core, keep your hands at prayer. For a little more support, have a lean to you, lean back just a little bit. You can even come down onto elbows or your back if that feels better for your body. Your hands can point away from you or towards you or out to the side, and whatever weird combo of a hand placement feels good for you. But as we inhale, we're gonna start to slowly roll through the hips and knees, taking the knees to the other side. So now our knees are pointing to the right and our feet are at the left. And then we're gonna take it the other way. We're gonna take this left to right at our own pace, rolling through these hips, noticing how it feels, maybe moving all around our space. And if you'd like to add just a little bit more, once the knees arrive at whatever side, pop the opposite hip just off the ground a little bit. Pop. Pop. And if you're taking the core engaged version with your hands in prayer, you could always pop up onto your knees and pop your hips forward. So no matter where you're at, we're getting lots of rotation through our hips. We're getting a nice little glute and ab action here as well as we pop the hip. Great job. One last time on each side. Our hip box stretch. Great job. All right, go ahead and come back down through center. Bring your hands about as wide as your mat and then come down onto your belly. Lowering your forehead to the mat. Keep your hands a little wider than your mat. Let your toes come out towards the corners of your mat, pressing into the feet. And then as we inhale, with elbows pointing towards the ceiling, slowly roll up like a cobra into a wide arm sphinx. Beautiful job. Our next exhale, slowly lower it down. Take it into some rolling cobras here, or some rolling sphinxes. Lifting and lowering. Maybe even a hiss on the exhale to really make it feel silly. Doing a cobra, hissing. Doing great. Last one. Exhale, lowering all the way to the mat. Let's roll over onto our backs. We'll bend the knees, letting the feet slide up towards the hips. And we'll grab a prop of our choice, from a block to a pillow to a bolster. And we'll keep it by our side. And then with our next inhale, we're gonna let our glutes squeeze as we lift our hips towards the ceiling, coming into bridge pose. And then let's take that block, slide it under, let the hips rest back down on top of whatever prop you chose. Your hands can rest on your hip points, they can rest alongside the body, palms face up or face down. You can even maybe let the arms come overhead. Again, see if you can come out of your comfort zone. Where do you normally land in resting, supported bridge? And see if you can change it up in some way. See if you can step out of your comfort zone, not by making anything feel tweaky, but by finding your edge. Noticing what the body has to teach you there as you breathe. Maybe you play with the height of your block if you're using a block. If you normally come to a low setting, maybe trying a medium setting or a tall setting.
Maybe if you always go to a block, maybe trying the pillow instead, noticing a soft option versus that strong supported option, or vice versa. We'll take just a couple more breaths here in our supported bridge. Allow your breathing to start to become intentional, a little longer, a little slower, more intentional. Go ahead and send your legs out long over the block if that feels good in your body. And maybe send the arms up overhead for a full body back bend over the block or prop of your choice. Beautiful. And then allow the feet to come back under the knees. Exhale to allow the hands to come by the hips. Our inhale squeezes our glutes and lifts them off of our prop of choice. And with the exhale, we remove it. And then slowly lower, one vertebra at a time, all the way to the mat. Once the hips arrive, widen the feet as wide as the mat. And then take your legs into windshield wipers. Falling in unison, similar to those hip rolls, but a little bit more open because we're on our back. Beautiful job. One last breath here. Great job. We'll come through center. We'll curl our knees in towards our chest, hugging around the shins or around the thighs. Maybe you curl your nose up towards your knees. Maybe you rock a little left to right. But give yourself one final massage here. Moving the body in any way that feels good. We'll have a few breaths here, so you're welcome to take even any other movement you might want. If your body is calling for something completely different here in this ending moment of our class, feel free to take that movement. And then when we're ready, let's find a way to go into our final resting pose. As always, you can take a constructive rest, almost like bridge pose, but with the knees touching. You could send the legs out long for corpse pose. You could add pillows, blankets, blocks. You could take your legs up the wall for legs up the wall pose. You could add a sweater or some socks, or any movement or adjustment so that you can start to come into a place where you can relax on command. You've done an amazing job today stepping outside of your comfort zone. Now I'm going to invite you for the next few moments to find that comfort zone here in our resting pose. So if at any point you feel like it is physically uncomfortable, go ahead and alter it so that you can enjoy and settle into the moment of mental juxtaposition. As we settle in, we'll take a deep breath in, pausing at the top, holding our breath for just one moment, making that intentional transition. As you exhale, maybe close the eyes or soften the gaze. And come into this place of reflection. Today, we'll continue to explore the concept of stepping outside of our comfort zone. We'll discuss embracing discomfort and reaping the benefits of personal growth. So as you breathe deeply, begin to feel the ground beneath you, supporting your body.
And then starting with our toes. Notice any sensations, any warmth, any tingling, any tension, anything. And we'll gradually move our awareness, checking in those same things. Sensations, warmth, tingling, tension, anything. As we draw our awareness through our legs, sensations, warmth, tingling, tension, anything. Into our hips and torso, sensations, warmth, tingling, tension, anything. Into the arms and shoulders, sensations, warmth, tingling, tension, anything. And as you scan your body, acknowledge any discomfort, any resistance, remembering that discomfort is a sign of growth. Into the neck and jaw, noticing the sensations, warmth, tingling, tension, anything. Round to the features of the face, skull, all the way to the very top of the head. Sensations, warmth, tingling, tension, anything. Now begin to visualize a boundary. This could be a circle, square, or any shape you like, even the gingerbread man that is surrounding you. This boundary represents your comfort zone. Imagine it all around you. And then imagine yourself stepping outside of it as you feel yourself transversing through the edge of that shape of your boundary. Notice how that feels in your body. Do you notice any heaviness in your abdomen? Any racing of your heart, lump in your throat, or tension in your shoulders? And begin to reflect on a recent situation where you pushed your boundaries. Maybe it was speaking in front of a bunch of people or trying a new hobby. Maybe you initiated a conversation or did something like never before. As you reflect on this recent situation, again, notice the physical sensations, if there are any in your body. Breathe into them. And remind yourself that growth happens beyond the familiar. Beautiful job. We'll now bring our attention to our breath. Inhaling deeply, counting to 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhaling slowly, counting to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Challenging our comfort zone in yoga, we are asking you to breathe and count your breath.
during our final relaxation meditation. Can you repeat this, letting that focus on the function of counting the breath be your only focus? Breathing in for a count of 4, exhaling for a count of 6. And if and when discomfort arises or thoughts arise, observe them without judgment. Label it as discomfort or breath or thought or noise, and then return to the focus of the function of your breath. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 6. Notice your thoughts. Are they pulling you back into your comfort zone? Gently guide the focus back to that focus of the breath, the present moment. We'll continue our focus, breathing in for 4, exhaling for 6. As we discuss, scientifically speaking, stepping out of our comfort zone stimulates neural pathways. New experiences create new connections in our brains. We can do this because of neuroplasticity. Our brain can adapts and grows when we face challenges. It's like a mental workout. It's been proven to increase confidence. Each small step builds our confidence, and we can celebrate our progress along the way. It has been proven to reduce anxiety. By practicing discomfort, we become less reactive to new stressors. It also enhances our creativity as novel experiences ignite creativity and our problem-solving skills. It also improves our resilience, as facing discomfort builds our emotional resilience. We will begin to release that counted breath after this next exhale. If you haven't already returned to your natural rhythm of breathing. Thank yourself for showing up today. Knowing that we can carry this awareness with us. We can embrace discomfort as a path to our growth. And remember that stepping out of our comfort zone, whether it's here on our yoga mat or out in the world each and every day, is a courageous act. Be kind to yourself during the journey. We'll take the deepest breath of our day so far. And as you're ready, notice the ground underneath of you, the air all around you. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. And then as you're ready, in your own time, in your own way, flutter the eyes open. Come up to face me in an upright position, in your own time, in your own way. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. You find time to step out of your comfort zone and ask what
where and what you're avoiding. And until next time, thank you so much. Have a great day.